pledge by me. All right. November is Native American Heritage Month. Interestingly, November also holds the American tradition of Thanksgiving. Tonight, I ask that we honor the first people of this land, their stories, their strength, their enduring presence. As a season of gratitude approaches, may we remember that thanks is deepest when it carries truth, humility, and respect for all who came before. May our reflection guide us, and may our actions help us build a path towards a more empathetic, honest, and reflective future. Now for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. This is like my first time going through the agenda, so please all have patience and grace with me. The next is our fire evacuation. In the unlikely event of some type of an emergency, you can exit through the doors behind you or through these doors here and down through the stairwell on your left. Now I believe it's time for roll call.
Yes. Board Chair Pickett.
Here.
Mr. Anderson.
Here.
Ms. Broculio.
Present.
Mrs. Cushman.
Here.
Mrs. Gerard. Here. Mr. Gauss.
Here.
Mrs. Kiner. Here. Mr. Kober.
Here.
Mrs. McGuire-Bruce.
Here.
Thank you. And, thank you, Ms. Cushman.
Chair Pickett, I would like to make a motion to move agenda item 11B, approval of the fiscal year 2026-27 Head Start grant application, to item 6C.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All right. Show of hands, I believe, Leslie? Thank you. All in favor? Appears to be 9 in favor, 0 against. Thank you, Ms. Cushman. Procedurally, we're moving up a grant application approval for after the presentation so we can understand the vote that we're working on. So thank you all. Thank you, Ms. Cushman. Now we're going to move on to item 6, our board guests. Mr. Longy, thank you for helping us move this meeting along tonight. Mr. Macchio is away supporting his daughter, so thank you, Mr. Longy, for stepping in. Can you please invite our first guest up?
Absolutely. So very excited today. We're pleased to announce our 2025-26 Kid Mayor. Let me introduce you to Benjamin Grimsley. Ben is a 5th grade student at Eli Whitney Elementary School. We also welcome Joel Sine, our humanities director, and Eli Whitney teacher Jean Horton to tonight's meeting. And Ben will share his campaign video with the board. And also, I think I saw the mayor come in. Yep, Mayor Sakala and Board Chair Pickett will present Mr. Grimsley with a plaque as our 25-27 Kid Mayor. So we...
Awesome. I am going to hand it right on over to you all.
Okay, I'm going to start. Okay, this is working. Good evening, Madam Chair, Madam Vice Chair, board members, and all attendees. It is my pleasure here tonight to introduce Benjamin Grimsley. He's a 5th grade student at Eli Whitney School, and he now holds the title of Enfield Kid Governor. I would like to take a moment to also thank our principal, Kate Flanagan, Joel Sinez, and all the others for the opportunity and the support with this program. Ben, along with his classmates and other grade 5 students, have been busy identifying personal community concerns, building platforms, and delivering their speeches. Through the program, students become civic-minded and experience the voting process. Please allow me to share a bit about Ben. He is truly the definition of Whitney Pack Pride. Through his school days, Ben is positive, accountable, careful, and kind, evident in the support he has garnered from his classmates. He's also a member of the Math Olympiad team at Eli Whitney. In his spare time, he enjoys soccer and hanging out with his friends playing video games. At this time, Ben is going to share a bit about his community concern. Okay.
I don't know how to word this. Okay.
Thank you for inviting me. I can't do it. Oh my god.
You're good. You're good. You can. He's a trooper.
Okay.
Read straight from the paper.
Okay. Oh my god. Oh. Okay.
I want to first thank them for inviting him. Yeah, act like you're in the classroom. Yeah, he's very discuss a lot in the classroom, so we're in the classroom.
Okay. Thank you for inviting me here tonight. I don't know what to do.
You got it. That's okay. You want me to share this? Your community concern
I don't know
is
what to do.
Ben's community concern is anxiety in school and stopping it in its tracks. And he chose. Do you want to read this part?
Okay.
Yeah.
I chose this platform because I have heard and seen people struggling with anxiety. This process has taken an entire school day to film, so I hope you soon realize how much of a problem it is.
And there he is. Okay.
My name is Ben. My platform is Destroying Anxiety. And all of these books are my favorite. But I don't want just you to know what my favorite books are. So if you want to learn more about me and my platform, make sure you keep listening. Oh, so that's okay. Gotta jot that down. Oh, hi there. And did you also know that about 15% of kids suffer from anxiety in Connecticut? Trust me, I did the math. And I know that might not sound like a lot, but that is roughly 88,181 kids in Connecticut. Did you also know the fact that in 2023, anxiety was the most common mental disorder in Connecticut too? We all know anxiety is bad, so here are my ideas to destroy it. The first idea I have is 5th graders can have a box of stress tools in Connecticut school classrooms. Students can help with this by turning in/giving Connecticut schools stress tools. Silent stress tools will be preferred than rather noisy ones. I also prefer small ones as well. How the stress toy system will work is when a student is stressed or feels anxiety, they may grab a silent stress tool and they may use it until it is not needed. If the toy is used in an improper manner, the teacher will address it. Another idea I have is 5th graders and staff can hang up deep breathing charts such as these. Students can use them by doing the instructions shown on the chart. I would like to hang them up in classrooms more than hallways because that is where most stress happens, like diagnostic and SBAC. All my friends here are using these things called breathing balls. How you use them is you breathe in and breathe out. These are always great to use when you are feeling stressed. For my final idea, I want to ensure 5th graders can talk with anyone. And right now, I already have a slogan. And also, with the help of my classmates, we are making posters right now. So without further ado, let's take a look. Good job. Nice. Thank you. So, all right. So, like, how we did do like, that's neat. I'll draw. Make sure start yellow. Good job. Like that. I really like that. I like that. My leadership qualities and skills include kindness, politeness, and trustworthiness. And most importantly, showing my pack pride. My name is Benjamin. Vote for me as kid governor to stop anxiety in its tracks.
That is awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No.
No. So before I open it up for questions, I think I'm going to call up Mayor Sakala and State Representative Santinella to present you with a plaque and a tiny little memento.
I do.
I think you stand up.
And maybe a photograph. Yeah, come on up here. Do you want to come in? And can we take a picture with you? can you hold your plaque? So it says Enfield Board of Education and Enfield Town Council proudly present Benjamin Grimsley, 2025-2026 Enfield Kid Mayor. Nice job. Can you turn around?
On behalf of the town council and the entire town of Enfield, we are very proud of you, and we would love, if and when you're ready, to come present to the town council your idea as well, so you can share it with the town council as well. Okay? All right.
Very nice. Thank you. Benjamin has something. He's going to pass these out. Can you pass them out?
You know what I'm going to ask you to do? Actually, do you mind if we have a couple questions and then you can share those right there, and we're going to each make sure we get one of those. Does that make sense?
Very good.
Perfect.
Yes.
Is there any board members who have a question? Ms. Cushman.
Just in seeing your video, I appreciate how you really, that poster making was a great way to include your whole class.
Yeah.
That was really such a great way. And then did you hang those posters up around the school?
Not yet.
Not yet. Now, apart from being here, what was the most challenging part of this process for you, of the whole campaigning and such?
The most challenging process had to be definitely brainstorming my ideas for my video. That was definitely the hardest thing to do.
Was it hard to narrow it down?
Yeah,
What were some of your other ideas, if you don't mind me asking?
I recorded it a while back, so I don't really remember.
Oh, okay. Thanks for being here. I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming.
You're welcome.
Congratulations.
Mr. Kober?
All right, thank you. I'm just going to say thank you for coming. You did a great job, great presentation. And this is probably a cliche question, but just curious. Any idea what you want to do when you grow up?
I haven't really thought about that yet on second thought.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I know a lot of kids sometimes, they aspire for, president or something. So, you still got a long way ahead of you, but just want to say great job.
Thank you.
Ms. McGuire Bruce?
Thank you, Mr. Sine, Ms. Horton, and all of the fifth grade teachers who support this process. I know all the schools, and I actually had the pleasure of teaching this program this year. But the way Enfield guides students through this platform development experience and allowing them to advocate for their platform, it's really something special. So kudos to all of you who are doing it. Ben, you had some amazing ideas. I would love some of those breathing posters for my classroom if you do put them into print. Through the chair to the assistant superintendent, could we request that the principals from the other 3 to 5 schools send us their top, because I think that some of us here, and I know the town council, we've been thinking about other ways that if opportunities arise for them to be, advocating their platform in other ways through the community, we would love to give them those opportunities.
So I can speak to that a little bit. So we have the other finalists' videos as well. They each made speeches to their schools, as Ben did. So I can certainly share those with you to see what
That'd
their
be
focus
wonderful.
was.
And if those platforms apply to anything we're talking about or within the town council or with us, it would be great to give them those leadership
Sure, of
opportunities.
course.
So thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Gerard?
I just want to say thank you so much. This is a very difficult thing for even us adults to do, to come up here and speak. I also know the time and dedication that you probably put into this. Thanks to your parents as well for helping you, because I'm sure mom put a lot of effort into it too. I have a 5th grader, and he tried doing this as well, and it was really difficult. So you did a fantastic job. I really cannot wait to see this implemented in the other schools, because I really think it's going to help a lot of the kids. I'm biased, but I think you should have won. But but you did a fantastic job, and just keep doing what you're doing. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Gauss?
Benjamin, great job. It was good to see that you had a little trouble starting off. but you brought it through and you got up and you talked. That's amazing. It's not always easy. Did you have a bunch of friends help you out with your video?
Yeah, like half the classroom.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And some of them are here this evening.
All right. Good job, guys. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Used to saying thank you.
Go ahead, Ms. Kiner.
That I think what your platform is showing is that your generation of kids shows empathy instead of like making fun of kids because they have problems. So your compassion towards the fact that there are mental issues that need to be addressed is wonderful. So keep doing what you do, and you did a great job.
Thank you.
Mr. Anderson?
Not so much a question, but more of a observation. I saw your shoes. They look pretty fast. I like those. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. I like that. I like sneakers too. I'm going to thank you, Benjamin, for coming. I know that it's very anxiety-provoking sitting here. I've sat there as a parent, and now I'm sitting here as my first night being board chair, and I'm anxious too. So I appreciate you being here and sharing your strategies. I took away some new ones to use at home. I also loved seeing your classmates. I like seeing the support here tonight. I think that demonstrates the kind of student you are and the work that's happening at Eli Whitney as building a community. So I appreciate that being demonstrated. I also wanted to highlight that you used data in your presentation. You might not know this about me because I assume you don't watch board meetings, but I like data. And recently, our social services came and presented on a survey that our high school students take. And there was some data that was shared there. And I think, like we were chatting about, there might be some opportunities to see how your platform and research that you did can be helpful in the work that we're doing. So thank you so much for coming tonight. Thank you to the adult supporters. It does take a community to do this work, and we hope to see you again. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
So I think they want
Got it.
Ooh, and please leave us our pins. Are those pins?
Yes.
Yes.
Kid governor pins.
Thank
Yes.
you. Awesome. Thanks, Ben. Thank you, Ben.
Oh.
All right. Mr. Longy, I'm going to look to you to now introduce who will be presenting our Head Start grant application.
Absolutely. So Enfield Head Start is requesting board approval to apply for grants for fiscal year 2026, 2027 from the Department of Health and Human Services. Enclosed in your packet is a memo about the federal Head Start continuation grant application, as well as a budget summary and staff salaries by percentage. The Enfield Board of Education may take any actions deemed appropriate regarding approval of the FY 26-27 Head Start grants. Thank you.
Is it on? Yes, okay. Hi, everyone. We're back. We're here every year, for those of you who don't know, all of us. We have a new face with us tonight. So I'm Jacqueline. I'm the director at Stowe of Enfield Head Start. Kelly Bowles is our family support manager. Jen Mayer is our health manager and school nurse. And Shannon Steary is our education and disabilities manager. We come as a team because the work we do can't be done in isolation. But we have a very special guest with us tonight. Alexia is a parent of a Head Start student, and she's our policy committee chair. So you'll hear from her in a little while. So, for those of you who weren't here, our grant application for this 5-year cycle is very concentrated and focused on partnerships in the community, increasing the partnerships, enhancing the ones we already have, and really ensuring that any family that's referred to a community partner or a community service goes beyond the referral process to complete, what's the word that we were using? Integration, access. Sorry, there's the anxiety. I need a ball. No. To full completion of the referral. So basically, if somebody says, I need support with a social worker, and Kelly makes a referral through her family advocates, she can make that referral. She can make a phone call. She can send an email. But it's that follow-up piece. Did the family actually fully engage with that social worker? Were they able to take the step and get the supports that they needed? But tonight I wanted to highlight oral health. Nurse Jen, if you have questions, I'm sure can answer it because this is a huge part of her Head Start world. But just so you know, every child enrolled in Head Start must have a dental home, which is just a regular dentist that your child sees, a completed dental exam within 90 days of enrollment, and then a follow-up dental exam every 6 months, and then follow-up treatment for any identified dental needs. This seems small compared to all of the things that we provide at Stowe, but it's actually a huge part of increasing attendance and other positive things that happen in education. And we're very, very lucky in Enfield because my partners in Head Start across the state have a very hard time finding dental homes for their students. So we are very fortunate. This year, our Husky Health Connecticut Dental Partnership has been a little elevated. All of the Head Start directors that are in the Head Start Association have signed a statewide MOU with Husky Health. So Nurse Jen has access to a very special system that she can just look up the dental exam so that she doesn't need to call families 15 times and say, hey, I need that dental. Did you have the exam? As a parent, it can be tricky to remember to ask for the form when you leave the dentist. Smiles and Bloom, we have reinvigorated that partnership. I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Bloom, but they send someone to Nurse Jen's health advisory meetings. And then UConn Snap Ed is an existing partner, but we've enhanced our engagement with them. They attended our orientation and open house, and they've come into our classrooms to teach kiddos about healthy oral health habits and nutrition. And these two friends are here to tell you why oral health matters beyond preventing pain and infection, helping with speech and eating, supporting learning and focus, and building lifelong habits. Oh no, it was supposed to play. Oh. That's Luca and Naima, and they're going to tell you how to keep your teeth healthy. They had dental visits this year in their class.
Luca and Naima, can you tell me how you keep your teeth healthy?
You have to brush your teeth, and you have to eat broccoli, and eat carrots, and eat cucumbers like pickles, and you have to eat broccoli. Yeah, and lettuce. And brush your teeth.
Sorry. We figured that we'd have the kiddos do the.
Hi, this is Sandra from Husky Dental. We trained a few classes in October when we focused on the importance of brushing, going to the dentist, and eating healthy foods. The students at the center were extremely well prepared and already had a lot of knowledge about how many times they should brush. Most of them actually expressed their experiences going to the dentist. We were very impressed by their excitement about oral health. They enjoyed the brushing activity, and they had a lot of fun reading a book. Thank you.
That was Sandra. She is a partner of ours. If you've come to any of our orientations or open houses, or you may just see her when you're in the halls because she visits a lot, she is an employee of Husky Health, and she comes in and teaches the kids. She has a counterpart with her. His name was Christian, and they came in and they played songs, and we have some students who are not photo safe, so we couldn't include a clip of their actual lesson, but it's very successful and the kids seem to love it. Okay, one more, sorry. Some fun statistics from Nurse Jen. 100% of Head Start students have established dental homes this year, which is a win for us. We're feeling very excited. Again, it sounds small, but in the state, many of Nurse Jen's other health managers, and like I said, the directors, they struggle with that. It is something they ask us on every federal review. It comes up all the time. It's a huge focus for compliance. 92% of our students received their dental cleaning already this year. Our dental partners have visited classrooms. Students are engaging in hands-on brushing in their classrooms, and if their classroom hasn't started yet, they will get to it. So we brush our teeth once a day with a fluoride toothpaste in our classrooms. It's per the regulations. And toothbrushing kits have gone home.
Riley and Ryan, do you like brushing your teeth at school?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's healthy. It's healthy.
I know. The stickers,
Riley
I
and
know.
Ryan, do you like brushing your
stickers are a thing. Okay, we have one last one because some of our classrooms have started brushing and they learned so much from the community partners that have come in. And so Poppy is going to tell you about this.
Poppy, can you tell me how you brush your teeth at school?
You grab the toothpaste, you grab the toothbrush, and then you put it on the toothbrush, and then you put it in your mouth and you brush it. And then you spit it out, and then you keep brushing it, and then you spit it out again and drink some water. And then you spit the water out, and then it's all done.
Okay, and so now we just want to give you a parent's perspective on engagement and leadership as it pertains to community partners. So, Alexia, it's up to you.
Good evening. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Alexia Herbert. I'm the Head Start parent. I am a Head Start parent and the current chairperson for the Head Start Policy Committee. This is my first year actually with Head Start. I have had other students at other children of my own at Stowe. I did not realize how much Head Start actually helps their students and the families with the help of the family advocates and community partners. Some of the community partners that work with Head Start include Emily Eye Care for vision checks and glasses for the entire family, the Enfield Food Pantry to help families who are currently experiencing food insecurity, along with to-go bags for children when school is out of session, the Enfield Fire Department with teaching children fire safety, along with reminding us parents to check our smoke detectors and set up an emergency plan. Another community partner is Husky Dental. Not only do they provide oral hygiene products for all the students of Head Start, they teach the students about oral hygiene and the importance of it, along with our teeth and how many we have. But they also support families who do not have a dentist and help set them up with appointments for yearly checkups. My son, who's at Head Start, is 4, and he loves the dentist. We actually have the Play-Doh dentist kit at home where he pretends that he is the dentist and he cleans the teeth. When Husky Dental started coming to school, my son was so excited that he got a new toothbrush besides the toothbrush that he has at home and the one that he gets from the dentist. And he explained how the dentist came and taught them all about healthy habits and brushing. He told us how he was able to brush a stuffed dinosaur's teeth and how he began taking care of all his stuffed animals at home. So needless to say, they all have sparkling teeth now. I'm excited for the rest of this school year and to be with the Head Start Policy Committee and to continue to learn more from our community partners. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so, sorry, well, what we're here for is approval. For submission of our grant application. And so what I put up on the screen here is a breakdown of it in terms of how it works from the grantee level, because Manchester Head Start is our grantee, so we are the delegate agency. So they receive $2,319,869, and then they keep $1,221,984, and then we get the remainder. Training and technical assistance totals $23,752, and then again the breakdown is as follows. The reason for the difference is they have a few more children than we do. So we have 102 students. They used to have more. They did have a reduction. I'm not sure of the exact number. I think they have 136 students, but their funding has been reduced due to a reduction in available slots. Many Head Starts have adjusted their slot availability based on an inability to fill all of their seats, because your enrollment really needs to be maintained at 100. You can dip into like the 97% range and be okay, but they want to make sure that you are filling your seats. But the reduction in their seats will not impact the instructional budget. In Manchester, it will simply change their salary line, and it does not have any impact on our budget here in Enfield. So that was a good thing. Unfortunately, they did lose some funding, but it didn't impact us. So when I gave you your packet, I did note the amounts that we are asking for. Up here is a summary that comes out of a website that is right from the government. So it's right where we enter everything. It's called HSES. And so we just put all the numbers in there and it populates this budget. It doesn't have the summary on top. So this year, the grant application, as I said, does require a minimum of 20% non-federal share. However, we this year are applying at 20.67. So if you're looking at those numbers, you may see a variance there, and that would be why. Huh? Oh, yes. And so you have all of those. Most of our funding goes to salary. We are very lucky to have certified Connecticut teachers in our program. It's actually not a ton of money when you break down what's left after that. So if you, I'm just going to find my chart because I can't see it as well, but child health and development personnel, that's our teachers. That's our education manager, our teacher assistants, family and community partnership personnel. That's our family support manager, and then other family and community partnerships. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read it all. That is our family advocates. I'm going to let Kelly speak a little bit about our family advocates. Kelly?
Oh, no?
Yeah.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm not sure if you all know, when you think of Stowe Early Learning Center, you think of the awesome education that students receive there. We are very well known for that. I'm very proud of that about Stowe. But what people don't know is that a really important part of Head Start is the Family Support Office. This is my 19th school year working in Head Start Family Support, so obviously I do love that program. And my family advocates are pretty amazing. And a little bit about what they do is they work really closely with our families to create wonderful goals that the families set for themselves during the year. We have something called a family partnership agreement that they start this beginning of the school year with the family partnership agreement. And in that, they make promises as the Head Start staff to support the family through community referrals, working with our community agencies, as well as helping them with action steps to reach their goals that they set. They work together with the family to come up with family goals for the household, as well as education goals for the classroom. And working with them throughout the year, each family advocate has 40 families that they work with. They do home visits, they stay in touch with them throughout the day, throughout the whole week, and they end up coming up with a wonderful relationship with them so that the family is also ready for kindergarten as well as the student. And that is why family support is so important for Head Start, and that's what our family advocates actually do. So when you see them on here, you understand why they are bringing such an important piece to the Head Start pie.
And then you have the director and the site supervisor. And then, sorry, the next slide is fringe benefits. And then that leaves us with a small amount for supplies, and supplies are broken down for the classroom. And at Stowe, we use a lot of consumables. So it's a lot of glue, a lot of crayons, a lot of paint, a lot of, you saw the stickers, but we don't really buy stickers, people give them to us. You know, we use a lot of recyclable items, but you know, sometimes when we have reviews, they ask us, why are you buying tinfoil and coffee filters? It's not for the kitchen, it's for the classroom, and they're making things out of it. So that's what that supply money goes to. And then other supplies under health for Nurse Jen. Head Start requires that if a child is not potty trained, that we do provide the pull-ups or the diapers and the wipes. And so Jen has seen an increase in students who are requiring those. So her budget goes to that, as well as other things that she needs. For the health office, you'll see some money, $3,000 under contractual. $1,000 of that is reserved to support transportation. And then other contracts, that would be like every 5 years, staff have to be fingerprinted, but if a new staff member comes on, they have to be done right away, and there is a cost to that, as well as mental health consultation for the staff to work with somebody, because we do not have a social worker that's dedicated just to the kiddos there. We do have somebody co-located who will work with our families. So we consult actually with Miss Renee, who does music therapy, and so she works in the classroom, so she knows the students and the teachers, and so she meets with them monthly just to talk about any problems that are arising, how to solve some of those challenging behaviors that you might be seeing. And then other local travel is really dedicated to home visits. We call them family partnership meetings. So family advocates and teachers drive to families' houses, and they have to do that twice a year. If they want to, they get to do that twice a year. So that reimburses their mileage. Parent services supports things that we do for our policy committee. And training and staff development, all of that money is in the training and technical assistance line, and that's because that funding is exclusively for training and technical assistance. And then dues and fees has gone up As I've stated in the past, Child Plus is a software system that we have to use for the federal government to house all of our information, and that's what we use when we have reviews. So that cost went up. EDECA is a screener that we use, and so it seems to go up every year. And that is the total. So you can see on here, it adds it all up. It tells you how many employees. And then in the past, we were asked for a breakdown, so you have the breakdown of percentage of how staff are paid. We do receive $104,000 something from the state of Connecticut through something called Early Start, which is also still called Early Start Head Start, which is different than Early Start, because it's only allowable if you have federal Head Start funds. And so that allows us to extend the day for 17 of our kiddos and offer summer programming. And 75% of that funding goes to salaries, and the other 25% is allocated towards literacy and social emotional learning. So that's the breakdown. You have all of that. One last one for you.
Show me your teeth. Cheese. Oh, beautiful. Show me your teeth. Cheese. Show me your teeth. Yay. Cheese. Oh, yay. Show me your teeth. Yay.
Okay. So with that, we had to share some cuteness with you so that you understand what we are able to do every single day. Do you have any questions?
Awesome. I'm going to ask us to ask our questions now before we go into vote while we have all of our guests here. So I will open it up for questions. Ms. Cushman.
Regarding the slide of the funding breakdown per teachers, when it's, like the percentage that it's the federal grant versus what's our responsibility, how are those percentages determined? Because they do vary, it looks like, per staff
They do
member.
vary. Honestly, that's done in the business office. So I sit with Lori LaRusso and Lorena, and we work through that. So the 20% is a total. It's also a minimum. So when you're applying, historically, our grantee in Manchester would like us to stay as close to the 20% as possible of that non-federal share. Because if you commit to more and you don't meet that, then you're out of compliance and you could lose all of your funding. So you stay as close to that 20% as possible. So when they're coming up with those percentages, it's a 20% of the total. I'm not sure where the exact numbers come from on that.
I was just curious because some vary.
I will say the larger portions, there are a couple of teachers that have a higher percentage that's out of state funds, and so that's because they work in the classroom that has the 17 kiddos who get that before and after care and that summer programming, if that makes sense. So that's, I don't want to call it a state Head Start classroom, but that's where those extra funds kind of live in terms of staffing.
That does make sense to see some that are 6%.
Yes,
And then,
yes.
the 93. So that does make sense that they're different responsibilities, different programs. Okay. Thank you for your
welcome.
presentation. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cushman. I think your question also illustrates the creative braided funding model that happens to make our programming happen at Stowe and specifically with Head Start. So I think that's a great question, and I think that's also a discussion for us to keep in mind with some of the work that we're doing moving forward. Other questions? Mr. Gauss?
I have a couple quick ones. The first one is, and don't get me wrong, I like that you're teaching them the dental health and all of that. Is there any component of that that teaches them to do it while they're home?
Yes, in terms of sending home the kits, and then Kelly has a parenting curriculum, if you will, but it's more of, I'm going to call it like an app. I don't believe there's actually an app. It's a website, but it's called Ready Rosie, and it's short videos that can guide you along in toothbrushing, as well as other things. So you could pick literacy, math, physical health and development, gross motor, fine motor, but that toothbrushing is part of that as well.
Okay, yeah, I was just concerned because if this is something they only experience at school, it's a lifetime of health that they need to really prepare for.
We do celebrate Dental Health Month, and also our program improvement plan has us working on efforts to support that crossover to home, to kind of incentivize it. So tell us how you brushed your teeth at home, right?
Yep.
Just to get them excited about it.
All right, and then the second question is, you said that the DECA fees go up every year.
Child Plus.
I'm sorry?
Child Plus.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's all
It's okay, it's
listed
all
as
in
one
one
thing.
line, yeah.
Do you know how much it was last year?
No, but I can get that to you.
All right, thank you.
Jacqueline, on the first page of the chart, under the heading of Personnel, Family, Community Partnership, there's a listing of $61,908 listed as a cost for other family community partnerships personnel. And I know you were talking about the family advocates, but is there anybody else that would be included in that classification? Can you
No,
expound
that's just
on
our
that?
two family advocates.
I'm sorry?
It's just our two family
It's the
advocates.
two family
yes.
advocates. Okay, thank you.
And those descriptors are built in by the program, so we don't put those in.
Okay.
That's provided in the system.
Okay, thank you very much.
Ms. Gerard.
Hi. This is my beautiful Stowe family because I was able to enjoy them for 2 years, which I wish it was so much more. I will have to say that one of the biggest things that came out of Stowe for me is not only the fantastic support that I've received throughout the school year, but the family advocates is something that should be modeled, honestly, throughout the whole entire district. This is something that they really put a lot of care into it for their families. And it's not just a quick little phone call. Sometimes it's like their support regardless. So I absolutely really wish that this would be modeled everywhere. I think I've probably said that while I was sitting on the policy committee. But yeah, I mean, I did a lot with you guys and I have seen so much greatness come out of it, not only from my own child, but other families as well. So I just, a little bit of magic from you guys and I appreciate it and you're doing fantastic. Thank you.
Ms. Broculio.
I know there's a wealth of data on the positive impact of Head Start and other early ed programs, and I think that was evident in all of the joy and learning in the videos. I'm just wondering if we have any data for our district specifically on the long-term impact of the program or any comparison data of our students.
That's a great question. Sorry. I ask that question often because it is interesting to look at the assessment tool that we use versus the one that they use when they get to kindergarten. It's really hard to come up with something that clearly demonstrates, right? And then the timing of when kindergarten students take assessments. So I'm not sure, but I think it's something we can certainly look into, figuring out what would be the best measure to look at their kindergarten data. Is it their third grade data? Is it every year data? I'm not really sure, but I think it would be valuable information.
Awesome. I think I've asked a very similar wonder every year when we've had this presentation. So I'm going to say curriculum subcommittee, that might be some interesting data and conversation to look at as far as the impact of our preschool programming on students. And I'm going to stop talking to make sure there's not other comments because then I'm going to flow into my comments. Any other questions? Good here. Good here. Perfect. Then I can keep flowing. I think that we do have model programming. I think Head Start is a model program for early childhood. Thank you for bringing the team because it is a team, and I think that's what Head Start models, that it takes family, community, school partnership to have success. So thank you for all coming here and sharing the work that you're doing. My hope is maybe there is ways that we can incorporate the model of Head Start and how we do work because I think it's really does demonstrate that collaboration. I also want to thank you for taking some time to do a little education in your presentation. It's not just approval of a grant, but like understanding that there's dental requirements and other requirements in the programming is helpful for us as a board. I know personally I've been able to participate in the self-assessments, which has helped me like learn about Head Start and the work that you're doing. We'll have some new members be able to kind of participate in your work, but thank you for doing that as part of your presentation as well. I also just want to thank the community partners. So you shouted out many in your presentation. It takes a village. So thank you to the folks who also participate and support our grant and our community. And my wonder is on enrollment. How many seats do we have, and do we have a wait list?
We have 102 seats. We are fully enrolled, and Kelly can speak to the wait list. She looks at it too.
Yes, that's part of my job, the wait list. We are fully enrolled, and right now we have about a little over 20 families on our over income waiting list. And then we have 2 families that were on our income eligible waiting list, but I'm actually intaking them right now for possible enrollment soon. Because we might have some students that may be moving out of Enfield, so we're trying to get them ready to move into our program. So then that will leave us with only our over income. But that's okay, because we have an excellent online application that the families are encouraged to apply. I tell everyone, just apply, because you never know. And I work with them Kathy, who's amazing, in our main office, her and I work together. We regularly are looking at the applications that are coming in to keep rebuilding that waiting list, because we always want to stay fully enrolled. That's the key.
Thank you. I knew you would have an answer for me. Didn't mean to put you on the spot. I also think that is information and data. We'll give a pre-ref update later, but as we're planning for expansion and the needs of our community, just demonstrating that there's a whole classroom of students that are waiting for pre-K, regardless of income, because I think it's about students who are wanting access to high-quality preschool programming, for us to kind of keep in mind in our decision-making. So thank you. Sure. Any further questions before we move on to the approval of the grant? All right, you can go back to your seats. We're gonna move on to the approval. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, and I love your pin.
Oh, yeah.
It's true.
I need a 9, right? All right. So, enclosed in our packet, we did receive the grant application. It's been reviewed by the Board of Education. I'm going to ask if we have a motion to approve the grant application as included in our packet.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Kober.
Second.
Second by Ms. Kiner. Any discussion? We just had a great, robust discussion. Roll call, please.
Board Chair Pickett.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Ms. Broculia.
Yes.
Mrs. Cushman.
Yes.
Mrs. Gerard.
Yes.
Mr. Gauss.
Yes.
Mrs. Kiner. Yes. Mr. Kober.
Abstain.
Mrs. McGuire Bruce.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. All right. Now I'm going to go over to you, Andy, for our superintendent's report.
Absolutely. We're going to start with our students. We have Olivia and Jimmy here. Good to see you, Jimmy. We're going to start with a former Enfield mayor, kid mayor, Olivia. Was anyone on the board when she came up? She was a tiny little thing that came up, Olivia. Remember that?
I do remember that.
All right, we're
I
going to
do.
start with you, then Jimmy will jump over to you.
All right. First of all, I just want to say I'm really happy to be back. Sorry I missed the first 2 meetings. I had soccer and then NHS. So that's where I was. But there's a couple things going on at the school starting within these next couple weeks. Winter sports are starting soon. They're starting on December 1st. Most of the informational meetings have already happened, but I'm sure students who are still interested can contact coaches. On the topic of sports, Enfield High football won the Route 5 rivalry against South Windsor on Saturday morning. They ended their regular season 6-4. Enfield High will be hosting a pancake breakfast for the community that will be on Saturday, December 20th at 9 a.m., and it will be held in the Enfield High cafeteria. The Jingle Jam for Safe Grad will be held on December 5th. I'm not exactly sure where, but there's definitely information out online about that. And just for some school spirit, there's going to be a Winter Spirit Week held the last school week of the year. So that will last from December 16th to December 23rd. And the Spirit Days will be posted online very soon for students.
Chase, I'm sorry. Wrong name.
No problem.
Okay, Chase, you're up.
Good evening. So this past weekend, the Lamplighters had their show, Night at the Wax Museum. They did a phenomenal job, so huge congratulations to all of them. The Enfield High music students will be walking in the Torchlight Parade on Sunday, December 7th, in downtown Thompsonville at 820 Enfield Street. The parade is being put on by the Enfield Fire District, and EHS music students will be taking part. Now, on the more musical side, there were multiple upcoming concerts, including a chorus concert on Wednesday, December 10th, and a jazz concert on December 18th. Also, for any of those interested in attending the Spain and Italy trip, there's going to be an informational meeting for parents on December 11th. Again, a parent meeting for anyone interested in coming on the Spain and Italy trip this summer. There was also a district-wide pajama day on December 12th, so that should be a pretty comfortable day that I'm looking forward to. And finally, there was a Connecticut State College instant application session at Enfield High on Friday, December 5th at 9 a.m. This is open to grade 12 seniors only. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Before you move to your comments, Mr. Longy, I just want to thank you both for being here tonight. Student reps are one of my favorite contributions to this dais, so I just want you to remember that you are valuable members of this team, so please feel free to jump in on questions, board discussion. You can't vote on motions, but we do encourage you to share your perspective and any ideas or questions you have. So thank you. Mr. Longy.
This is going to be very, very quick. Just on behalf of Superintendent Macchio and the Enfield Public Schools, just want to wish our families and students a very happy Thanksgiving and a couple of safe days off. And we'll see everyone back in December.
All right. Now we will move on to audiences. I'm going to try some new remarks here. So good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to give a few reminders before we begin public comment. Each speaker will have 4 minutes. It is a time for your comments. Unfortunately, it is not a conversation or a question and answer with the board. The board's role is governance of the district, so please frame your remarks accordingly. Please remember that all comments do become part of public record. In keeping with board policy and state law, we ask that you avoid sharing information that's confidential, including personally identifiable student information or specific personnel matters which cannot be addressed in the public forum. We appreciate respectful decorum and fair treatment for all in our community, and thank you for being here. Perfect.
A little empty in here today compared to last week. I hope people start coming more. Maureen Griffin, Abbey Road. Okay, this is my every new board TED Talk. The role of the Board of Ed. To advocate for the students and staff to have the resources needed to provide the best education and preparation for life possible while respecting financial realities. To provide high-level oversight, set policy and goals for the district. It is not, very important, it is not to be at the helm of the district and manage daily operations. That's Steve and Andy's job. That's why they're paid. You each bring varied life experiences and professional skills to the table. Please use them to inform your work on the board. It will be a learning experience for you all as you grow into your roles. I'll give you a piece of advice. Asking the question why, Amanda loves that one, is a valuable tool. When you don't know why something is done a certain way, or you believe you know a better way, ask why. It builds understanding and mutual respect, so long as the question is asked with an attitude of seeking understanding, not as a gotcha. Examining the why also provides an opportunity to review if the reasons why something is done are still valid, or if there's an opportunity for improvement there. I thank you all for being willing to serve. Keep in mind that your words and actions will reflect upon the district and serve as an example for our kids. And we don't need any more lawsuits. Danielle, you personally, I am most excited about your perspective as the mom of a child with unique needs. I've been there myself. You know firsthand the feeling of sitting in on an IEP meeting, trying to garner maximum help for your child. Building people's knowledge of and empathy for our high and special needs students, as well as the processes that the families have to go to and they have to navigate all this BS, is very needed in this town. People don't understand it. They don't have compassion. So I love that you're up there. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Griffin. I'll give a chance in case anybody's changed their mind. All right. On to board member comments. I think I'm just going to look for volunteers. I know we're new, so thank you, Mr. Rard.
I'll jump right into it, right? Maureen, thank you. I really genuinely appreciate it. I'm really hoping that I can bring that honest and big perspective for IEPs and for children with special needs. It's a lot of work as a parent, so I really hope that I can help everybody in that way to be more educated in that. On more of a different note, I was actually able to go to the Wreaths Across America spaghetti dinner. It was a great fundraiser for Wreaths Across America. That's actually happening on December 13th. So I just wanted to kind of bring that forth and making sure that we pay attention to those types of events. This is a great event that will be able to go ahead and put wreaths out on the cemetery, and it's a really good community gathering, and being able to raise money for that is awesome. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Anderson?
Thank you. Through the chair to the super. So I understand the accounting firm that gave a presentation to the town council is going to be giving a presentation to the Board of Ed at a meeting coming up. And I wanted to present a few questions to them prior to them coming out so they can have some time to answer those. Question number one, from 6/13/23 to 6/30/23, somehow the school found $5 to $6 million. I'd like to know how. The schools received an additional $7.2 million and a grant, a COVID grant, in 22-23 school year. In that school year, they were still $6.4 million short. I just want to verify that that's true. How many positions were hired using the $7.2 million in COVID funds in 22-23? How many of those positions were not part of the budget, and why were they off the books, if there were any that were not on the books? In 22-23, were there any conversations with Drezek and or Tina LeBlanc about needing to make major cuts? Did anyone prevent the superintendent from making cuts to positions in the 22-23 school year to help correct the budget? Why were Chris Drezek, Tina LeBlanc, Dr. Callanan, or any members of the BOE or town council not interviewed? When did Drezek know that the district was going to be over budget in 2024? Were there any complaints about paper shortages in 2020, or there were many paper complaints about paper shortages in 2024 that were continually denied by Drezek? Were those lies? Were all the teachers that were complaining about not being able to get paper? Was that true? Towards the end of the 22-23 school year, or even the next year, how did EPS pay for anything if they were so far over budget? Were things just not being paid, or I'm not sure how that works, so I'd like someone to explain that to me. And that's it. I'll give a copy of this so you have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. What I'm going to ask you to do is if you could write your questions and send them to me and CC Mr. Macchio, and we'll make sure we address those. I would also just quickly share much of that information has been publicly presented as far as how ARPA dollars were used, and some of that information will be included in the presentation we get. I also want to remind you that it was not a forensic audit, and things as far as budgeting procedures, there's already been some adjustments. So we'll make sure, please document your questions and share them with me. Thank you. Any other comments? Ms. Kiner?
I had the pleasure of participating this morning in the Family Engagement Day at Prudence Crandall, and I have to say it was so heartwarming to see so many parents come out to support their students. And I think the best part of the day for me, besides when I did get to work with students was watching the kids' faces when they saw their parents walking in through the classroom. They just lit up. So parents, super important. Those kids just need your support, and they appreciate it when they see you in the schools. So please stay involved. Thank you.
Ms. McGuire-Bruce.
Thank you, Ms. Pickett. I just wanted to say that Cookies for Camo is on Sunday. Cookies for Camouflage, sorry, I should say it correctly, is on Sunday, November 30th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the American Legion, Post 80 downstairs. They're encouraging home or store-bought baked goods, and those can be in Ziploc bags. They're also collecting hygiene products, notes, and cards, which some of my students are currently working on. I sent a few of those pictures to Pam Townsend today. They were very sweet. They're also taking donations for postage as an option. And then Two Moms on a Mission Angel Tree is underway. The lists have been posted. You can find those lists under Two Moms Angel Tree Helpers 2025 on Facebook. If you're able to, please consider selecting even just an item or two to help brighten someone else's holiday. I know how hard those ladies work, and the whole community coming together for those is really something special. And then students, here's your reminder. Consider a heartwarming note for tomorrow, telling your teacher why you're thankful for them. It goes a long way. And everyone just have a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you very much.
Mr. Kober.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So earlier this month, municipal elections were held, and just last week we held our biennial organizational meeting. And tonight, here we are commencing the cycle of regular meetings and board business. As we begin a new term with a majority of new members seated at this dais, we were offered a unique opportunity to reflect, assess, and ensure our efforts, procedures, and business practices are aligned with policy and reason. As we expect all of our board's employees to comply with each and every law, regulation, and policy, it does behoove us as elected officials to do the very same. As we move forward, let us lead the district consistently, firmly, and fairly. Let's govern effectively with a goal of increasing both efficiency and transparency. Let's endeavor to improve collaboration and partnerships. Let's be mission-focused on fostering student achievement and academic excellence. With this in mind, I did want to note that Connecticut General Statutes 10-220C requires the superintendent of each district to, quote, present the profile report at the next regularly scheduled public meeting of the Board of Education after each November 1st, end quote, which is tonight's meeting. Originally, we were scheduled to receive our annual enrollment report tonight. However, as our chair mentioned, our superintendent is traveling with family on an obligation, and therefore this enrollment report presentation has been shifted to our December 9th meeting. I also am aware that the CT Public EdSite portal makes our summary district profile and performance report accessible online. As of earlier today, when I checked, the most recent report available there is for the school year ending 2023 to 2024. The strategic school profile report for the district, however, does go beyond enrollment and should include other information such as measures on student needs and school resources, student performance, including suspension, expulsions, and truants, as well as other educational metrics and indicators. In order to effectively and intelligently implement the educational interests of the state and provide for an appropriate learning environment for all students, as we are duly elected and stipulated to do, I do see it as fundamental that the board regularly and recurrently receive, discuss, and digest this type of information. And beyond just considering as public record, it should be very easily accessible for us, whether here in our meetings and or posted online, including to our potential EPS website. With November almost being over, I did want to quickly highlight some themes for this month. National Scholarship Month is observed in November. High school seniors, and in some cases juniors, depending on the scholarship, are encouraged to get organized and apply for as many scholarships as possible to help them pay for higher education. To give you 3 good reasons: 1, college is expensive; 2, the cost of college living is going up; and 3, support from the federal and state government for college students has decreased. November is also National Family Literacy Month. Reading helps with vocabulary, writing skills, attention span, memory, and teaches us about other times and places. So this is a perfect time. Grab a few books, gather up the fam, snuggle up, and let a book take you to another place altogether. Earlier this month, we also recognized Veterans Day. Beyond just another holiday, it's a day where we come together to pay tribute to the brave men and women who have selflessly served in our armed forces, protecting our freedoms and way of life. Beyond also being a day off of school for students, it is an opportunity to teach history and instill an understanding of values such as patriotism, empathy, and gratitude. As a matter of fact, another common theme for this month is also gratefulness. Counting your blessings, showing grace and appreciation, and truly enjoying good experiences are ways that we can express gratitude. Gratitude supports positive emotions and is consistently associated with greater happiness, improved health, and a stronger ability to deal with adversity. With this, I offer up a quote from Seneca, a Roman philosopher and statesman. No person has the power to have everything they want, but it is in their power not to want everything they don't have and to cheerfully put to good use what they do have. I hope our students and staff enjoy the early release day tomorrow, and I'll end with a happy Thanksgiving to all. Have a happy, healthy, and safe holiday weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kober. Ms. Procuglia.
I just want to remind you again from the desk of Scott Ryder with the PJ update. EPS PJ Day is Friday, December 12th with a $1 donation to the Center for Cancer and Blood Disorders.
Any other comments? Mr. Gauss?
Okay, I'd first like to start with a reminder that although it isn't officially Men's Health Month, November is also known as Movember and No Shave November to support charities that do help educate men. And it seems probably a little bit off to say this at a Board of Ed meeting, but specific men's cancers can start as early as 15, and that's our high school boys. So just something to be aware of. And I actually expected more people to talk about Thanksgiving, and I have a little thing about Thanksgiving. There are many stories about how Thanksgiving began. They're taught from different points of view. Take your time to learn about them. It's certainly a worthy pursuit. While we associate Thanksgiving with November, William Bradford made his first official Thanksgiving proclamation preceding the 1623 Thanksgiving feast, and that took place in July. His proclamation is, and this is going to be fun to read, I love this old stuff. Inasmuch as the Great Father has given us this year an abundant harvest of Indian corn, wheat, peas, beans, squashes, and garden vegetables, and has made the forests to abound with game and the sea with fish and clams, inasmuch as he has protected us from the ravages of the savages, has spared us from the pestilence and disease, has granted us the freedom to worship God according to the dictates of our own conscience. Now I, your magistrate, do proclaim that all ye pilgrims with your wives and ye little ones do gather at ye meeting house on ye hill between the hours of 9 and 12 in the daytime on Thursday, November 29th of the year of our Lord, 1623, in the third year since ye pilgrims landed on ye pilgrim rock, there to listen to ye pastor and render thanksgiving to ye Almighty God for all his blessings. William Bradford, ye governor of ye colony. That's almost as many as penultimates during our negotiations. But the modern holiday we celebrate today was officially proclaimed by President Lincoln and officially became the fourth Thursday of November nationwide in 1941. The important thing is not how it began, it's what it's become, a day to celebrate the wins and good times had throughout the year and give thanks for the opportunities to have them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gauss. Any other comments? Awesome. So I just have a couple tonight. In response to some comments you made, Mr. Kober, first, I just want to say that I appreciate your deep understanding of our policies and procedures, and it comes in handy, and I look forward to our leadership conversations where we can put all of some of that magic into play. So thank you for reminding us some of that. I would just share with you about sharing our enrollment data and data in general, and remind folks that we did have our accountability report at our last official board meeting on October 28th, where Ms. Middleton shared our accountability index data, and Mr. Macchio had shared well in advance that he would not be here tonight and present that data at our next meeting on December 9th. I definitely like your idea of potentially posting Board of Ed presentations. I think making that information accessible to all and for us to be able to reflect back to, and our town council counterparts to be able to see, I think that makes sense. I would also share, in response to some of Mr. Anderson's comments, the town has publicly posted the audit. We will have a presentation of some sort here at the board with the findings and recommendations and next steps. We will discuss that in leadership. Thank you for sharing your questions, Mr. Anderson. I also want to share with the public that we are working on ways that we can share information more openly and transparently with you all. So our teacher's contract that has been recently approved is also posted online. So these are hopeful things that you all can access if you are interested. So that is the end of my comments as well. I believe we have no unfinished business. And now, since we took the Head Start application, we just have one new business, which is the approval of the 2026 schedule of regular Board of Ed meetings. This was included in our packet. They are publicly posted. They follow our typical cadence of Board of Ed meetings, so nothing like super alarming. Do I have a motion to approve the board meeting dates as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Kiner, seconded by Mr. Gauss. Any discussion? Mr. Kober?
So it is noted on there, Madam Chair, but I just did want to highlight for both board members and the public, there are 4 dates where normally our board policy sets our start time at 7 p.m. For those 4 dates, the proposed start time would be 5 p.m. This would be June 9th, June 23rd, July 14th, and August 25th. The reason for this is kind of the overlap for the summer concert series. I know personally, I think I said this last year, and I'll just kind of reiterate it, like for a personal level, it's just sometimes that might be challenging to make that 5 p.m. cutoff. I know last year I think maybe we toyed around 5:30, but I can't remember when the concerts start exactly, and I know we had issues with noise, parking, and stuff like that, and I believe last year we ended up possibly canceling one of the meetings anyway due to lack of board business. So I just kind of wanted to start that discussion, see if any other board members had any other input, and obviously, again, for public awareness, our policy sets are second and fourth Tuesday at 7 p.m. However, there are adjustments for extenuating circumstances.
Thank you, Phil. That is interesting timing as the summer comes, and I do remember some loud meetings and some crowded parking. I'm not sure if there's other comments related to that. I would just note that as we get maybe closer and if there's more discussion, we could always make an adjustment. But thank you for bringing that to our attention. Any other discussion? Mr. Anderson?
I was going to second that. 5:30 meetings, I'm good with. 5 o'clock meetings, it's very difficult for me to get here for 5 o'clock. So if we could move those to 5:30, that would be very helpful for me. Thanks.
I think I would need, yep, Mr. Gauss?
I just have a quick question because this is how it worked prior to this term. The meetings, it says that they start at 7. I believe there was a policy out that they needed to end by 10 or were extended by vote. Is that something that's just one of our policies, or do we have to set that now?
That's one of our policies.
Okay, thank you.
So I will just share that if you want to officially change the time, you would need to make a motion to make that change, get somebody to second it. We would need to approve that motion.
I would like to make a motion to change the meeting dates. The times from 5 to 5:30 on the 4 dates in the summer for the summer concert series.
I will second it to allow discussion.
Any discussion? I don't think we really care all that much. My only wonder is if there is any implications on timing with those concert series typically start at 6 or 7. Is it 6 or 7?
7 o'clock.
6, 7. Oh my God, here we are again.
I think in the past it was the issue of parking. So
Yep.
we tried to get out before the rush came in. It was
Yep.
to help the town out as well as have a meeting without music playing.
Yep.
But
I also
this
remember
is
music
completely
starting
up to-
even when we were still in a meeting.
This is completely up to the board. I guess.
Actually,
Yep.
now that the band shell has been built and it's facing another way, we're not affected by the sound as much as we were before there was the band shell. Okay. So
So I would be okay with the 5:30. I will also just share here, I think this is demonstrating some collaboration. If there is anything that comes from the town side after this discussion that like, ooh, that would really impact parking or that would be a problem. But if that makes meetings accessible to you, Mr. Anderson, and I'm sure might be helpful, I think 5:30 is amicable. So we are amending, so now can we make?
We can do a show of hands on the amendment first.
Perfect. So let's do a show of hands on the amendment. Thank you, Mr. Kober. All in favor of the amended 4 dates in the summer to start at 5:30 instead of 5? That looks like 9 in favor, 0 against. But we need to do a roll call vote to approve so we need a motion to approve our amended.
We don't need another motion.
Thank you.
We're back to discussion on the main motion.
Thank you, Mr. Kober.
We could do further discussion if needed, further amendments if needed, or you could go ahead. If nobody has anything, we could call roll call on the
Perfect.
motion as amended.
Anybody have anything? Perfect. Then we are going to do a roll call on the motion as amended.
Board Chair Pickett?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Ms. Broculio?
Yes.
Mrs. Cushman?
Yes.
Mrs. Gerard?
Yes.
Mr. Gauss?
Yes.
Mrs. Kiner?
Yes.
Mr. Kober?
Yes.
Mrs. McGuire Bruce?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. And thank you to my members up here for helping me through this Robert Rules official meeting business. Tonight, we are going to review our committee assignments. I'm going to share just a little, kind of start with leadership, and then I'm going to let each new chair of the committee share the members and the next date. So as the chair, I am also the ex officio member of any of these committees, which means I can attend. The leadership subcommittee is myself, Miss Kelsey McGuire Bruce, Janet Cushman, and Phil Kober. Curriculum committee.
The curriculum committee comprises of Rosalie Berculio, Dean Gauss, Kelsey McGuire Bruce as alternate, Janet Cushman also as alternate, and myself, Roberta Kiner, as chair. And our next meeting will take place on December 18th at 5 p.m. in room 213 at the Town Hall.
Thank you. Finance and Budget Committee.
Okay, the Finance Committee will meet on December 1st at 5 o'clock at Central Office. I believe it's the first floor conference room. The members of the committee are myself as chair, Danielle Gerard, Rob Anderson, and alternate Rosalie Broculio, and alternate Phil Kober.
Thank you. Policy Committee.
I am chairing the policy committee and will be joined by Kelsey McGuire Bruce and Janet Cushman. Our alternates are Danielle Gerard and Philip Kober, and the next meeting will be Tuesday, December 16th at 5:30.
Thank you. Are there any updates from like overlapping work of committees? I just want to make sure I acknowledge if anybody had an update to share on subcommittee work. Perfect. Thank you. Liaisons. I'm going to share our list of liaisons, and then I'm going to ask if there's any members up here who do have an update. No expectation that you have an update yet. We have all just started. But I will share that list now. Ms. Bobby Kiner will be the liaison to Stowe and our Head Start policy liaison. Danielle Gerard will be our KITE liaison. Philip Kober will be a liaison to ERFC. Rosalie Broculio to our Enfield Cultural Arts. Kelsey McGuire Bruce to Buzz Robotics. I will be a liaison to Enfield Together Coalition. For our schools, Enfield Street School, Kelsey McGuire Bruce. Parkman, Danielle Gerard. Henry Barnard, Rosalie Broculio. Crandall, Bobby Kiner. Hazardville, myself. Eli Whitney, Janet Cushman. JFK, Dean Gauss. Enfield High School, Rob Anderson, and I will be doing some liaison work with SafeGrad. I will be the CREC delegate and the CABE delegate. And then our liaisons to Eagle Academy will be Phil Kober, ETLA will be myself, and Adult Ed will be Janet Cushman. Any updates from school liaisons? Ms. Kiner.
I do have one from Principal Andrew Dupere from Prudence Crandall. Congratulations to all the new and returning members of the Board of Education. Family Engagement Day was a success. We had over 325 family members attend and take part in an activity with their child. Also, thank you to David White and Kim Nadeau, who attended from Enfield High School with a group of students to help support students who may not have had a family member in attendance. A final update on the food boat. Thank you to all the families who donated over the course of October. Together, we were able to donate 4,023 pounds of food, as well as $242. We are truly grateful for the generosity of the Crandall community. And finally, starting after Thanksgiving, we will be setting up our giving trees. We will be collecting hats, scarves, mittens, socks, and earmuffs to be donated to families in need. Your generosity helps bring warmth and joy to those in our community. Thank you in advance for your support. And that's all.
I'm a little sad that we didn't get the video of the haircut he received.
I know. I did miss that one.
Awesome. Thank you.
Regrettably.
Thank you, Ms. Geiner. Any other school updates? Ms. Gerard?
So for Parkman, we are kind of doing something a little similar to Crandall. We're doing a food drive, and Mr. K will be shaving his beard if we reach the 2,000 pounds. If you've never met Mr. K, he has a very long beard, so it is something that he's held close and dear to him. But we are about 900 pounds away. The last day to bring in food is on December 5th. So me and my son Harper did a little math, and it's about 68 pounds per classroom. So that's all we need. So make sure we get that in there. December 3rd is the last day to order your Square One art. So please look at that at Parent Square. December 17th is Picture Retake Day. And the next PTO meeting is on December 9th at 7 p.m. And it is actually a virtual meeting. So you can go on their PTO website and they'll be able to go ahead and get that link from there. I also have kite too. Okay. So I went to the kite meeting before the actual, before I was assigned it, because I absolutely love kite. And kite has partnered with EPS Youth Vote during the election, and families were able to register for play packs and pick them up on election night. 50 families registered and 88 packs were given out to kids. That was huge. That was actually a really awesome to see so many kids come in with their parents to vote. So it was a really good feeling. Parent Leadership Academy, near and dear to my heart. Class 19 is at capacity with a waiting list. Orientation starts January 30th and runs till April 30th. 2 PLA graduates currently are elected officials in town, Rebecca Green and myself. And KITE's next meeting is going to be on December 4th at 5:30 p.m. at CT State as Nantuck. And out of that as well, Social Services gave an update as well. They let us know that Winter Traditions of Enfield is happening on December 4th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. It's a Thursday night at the Enfield Social Services office. So please make sure that you actually register for this event on their Facebook page. And that's it.
Thank you. Ms. Berculia.
I just want to give a quick reminder for Barnard families that December's PTO meeting will be shifted from Tuesday, December 16th to Tuesday, December 9th at 6 p.m.
Any others? I will share the Enfield Together Coalition visited Enfield High School last week to connect with students. They asked them who they were grateful for. I saw recently on social media they had a cute little heartwarming video of the high schoolers and what they put together, so I encourage folks to show that out. Check that out. I think that demonstrates, again, a nice opportunity for community and student collaboration. Jingle Jam, I'll give the details, is December 5th at the American Legion. Doors open at 5, 1 ticket for $25, 2 for $40. So come support that amazing event that helps support a safe, inclusive, and accessible after graduation event. Now I will share the membership of our joint committees that we have with the town, and then we can see if there's any, actually I think I'm the only one who might have an update on that, but I'll look around the table in case. Joint leadership will be myself and Phil Kober. Joint security will be Bobby Kiner, Danielle Gerard, and Phil Kober. Joint facilities will be Kelsey McGuire Bruce, Danielle Gerard, and Janet Cushman. Joint insurance will be Rosalie Broculio and Janet Cushman. And I will provide an update on pre-ref. Is there any update from any existing members that have participated in any of those meetings? Thank you, Mr. Kober.
No problem, Madam Chair. So just I'll provide a real quick update from the Joint Security Committee, having sat on it last term. We did cancel the November meeting. The meeting before that, we did review the school security officer statuses, and then we also discussed upgrades to the fire protection systems that the town had allocated some money for and the town council had voted on. So we should be getting an update on those, and our next meeting for joint security will be December 12th, which is a Friday at 9:30 a.m.
Yes. Thank you, Phil.
I don't have an update, but I can share that the next joint facilities meeting is December 11th at 6 p.m.
Thank you. I will give a brief update on the pre-ref subcommittee. We completed our first community conversation. Thank you to all of those that attended in person. There's also a YouTube live stream of that. I encourage folks to check that out. And there's a QR code and a survey that you can fill out. I'm encouraging folks to fill that out. That closes on December 5th. We also had some think tanks where we invited members of our community who might not be on the committee to provide some feedback on the options that we are looking at. We are still working on narrowing down those options. At our last meeting, we reviewed our enrollment projections, which I'm sure we will have robust discussion about in our next meeting. And there is another upcoming community conversation. And why didn't I write the date?
December 17th.
Thank you, December 17th.
It's a Wednesday and it's virtual.
Wednesday, and it's virtual. Thank you. And I believe on our website, the pre-ref information is all pretty accessible, so encourage folks to check that out. Any other updates or liaisons? Awesome. Now we're going to move to our approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve our regular Board of Ed meetings for October 28th, 2025?
Motion. Motion.
Second.
Moved by Ms. McGuire-Bruce, seconded by Mr. Kober. Any discussion? I will just share, there is guidance that we received, even if you weren't part of the board. If you've reviewed the minutes, you've reviewed the meeting, you can vote. So just letting folks know that is an acceptable vote. Any other discussion? I believe we can do a hand vote on this. All in favor of the minutes? Perfect. 8 in favor, 1 abstention. Do I have a motion to approve the special organizational meeting minutes from November 18th, 2025?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Kiner.
Second.
Ooh, second by Ms. Gerard. They beat you. Any discussion? Perfect. Hand vote for this as well. All in favor? 9 in favor, none against. Thank you. I don't believe we have any approval for accounts and payroll. Beautiful. Any correspondence and board communication? I did receive in the mail an invitation to the Wreaths Across America. I'm not sure if all board members received that. I do want to just say that we were invited to the ceremony at St. Patrick's Cemetery on the 13th. I'm looking at you because you just made the announcement. Yes. So I will just say we were invited. And if we do plan on attending, please let me know so we can say if there's going to be a quorum in attendance.
At 12 p.m.
12 p.m. Thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Kober.
Second.
Second by by Kelsey McGuire-Bruce. Any discussion? Show of hands. 9 in favor, 0 against.